Hi, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday, and you are at the right place. I'm going to just make sure that everything's working here, and I have some fun stuff to show you guys tonight, so I hope that you have some coffee or something to drink and are ready to get creative with me.
And it is Make It Monday.
Okay, our sound is working.
Right place.
And again, I'm unable to turn my sound up.
Here.
I just don't understand this.
I have some fun stuff to show you guys.
I don't know. I have it in a holder, but for some reason, when it's in there, it will not change. So, all right. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have a couple of things to tell you first. And one is to announce the winner of last week's drawing. It was supposed to go live on Monday because it was my class Monday, and I stream it through a streaming service. And for some reason, well, several reasons, it didn't work. And I'm sort of working with them to try to figure out what can be changed for next time so that that doesn't happen. But anyways, so the winner for the commenter, because I asked you to comment live, but obviously it didn't come through live. So anybody that commented was entered into the drawing, so either on Facebook or YouTube. And the winner of the drawing is Colleen Medore. So I will be sending you this pack of cute stars. I told you that it's going to be, I probably should go back here to my screen so I can actually see what I'm supposed to be seeing. Cute little star sequins that come out in the next catalog. So hopefully you're getting your new catalogs by now. They were put in the mail to you either by me or by Stampin' Up! If you're a demonstrator. And yeah, fabulous new projects. So, oh, thanks, Karen. That was my daughter, right? Yes, I posted. I begged her to do. She's so creative, and we were playing with this plant stamp set for my classes last week, and I had a couple things that cut out ready to go together, and I knew it was something she sort of would enjoy because she's into macrame, and so I asked her to do a live, and it was way out of her wheelhouse, but she did oblige me, and I think she did a great job. Okay, hi guys. Thank you for joining me, and if you're here, make sure you leave a comment and let me know that you're here. It's really encouraging to me to see who's here. So I did, in the description, you'll see some links to some different things I will be referencing throughout this evening, and one of them is the Designer Series paper sale that's going on right now, and that's what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to show you lots and lots of ways that you can use designer paper. So we have 9 papers that are on sale for 15% off. Oh, at Connie's event. Okay, thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. I forgot about that event. Hey guys, welcome. So anyways, there is a link there if you are not a demonstrator and you're a customer and you like to shop and get some of those papers while they're on sale. I'm telling you, they're fabulous. You're going to see a lot of them tonight. But so there's a link there to shop and at least to go and see what's on sale if you're not sure which ones are on sale. I also have a link on there to my host code right now. And so when you place a $40 order this month and use that host code, you get my projects from July's class. Let's see. What else did I want to tell you about? I also want to say that when you comment and share this video tonight, you will get in the drawing for the 2 projects that I'm going to show you. And I wasn't going to actually make projects, but we all want projects. I just have tons to show you and tons of ideas to show you. So it might get just a tad long, but I think that you'll be happy that you joined me. So if you've ever said, I have tons of designer paper and I'm either afraid to use it because I don't want to use it up because it's so pretty, or I'm not sure how to use it, I can't help you with the first one. You're going to have to just be willing to use it or lose it. Basically, it's going to go bad eventually. So But for the second one, I can help you. I have lots of different ways to use it, and I'm not even going to touch like probably a drop in the bucket of the things that you can do with designer paper. And even in scrapbooking, I'm not going to talk about that tonight, but there are tons of things that I use them for in scrapbooking as well, as those of you who do my scrapbooking classes know. So, okay, let me just put this aside. I'm going to switch over to my other screen, and I'm going to get started. So thanks for joining me again. All right, so I'm going to lay my catalog here so that I can reference some of the papers that we're going to be talking about. So I'm hoping that's not too distracting of a background. Maybe I will just put this here so that I can at least be able to highlight the things that I want to show you. Okay, so a lot of what I'm going to show you tonight is going to have to do with the rule of thirds. And you've always heard that, like, that you shouldn't possibly, you know, if you're not sure how many little accents to put on, an uneven number is better than an even number. So on this card, I am showing the In Good Taste designer paper, which is right here. And it is not a regular size pack, it's an extra large pack because there's so many fabulous designs in it. And it's actually on sale, which is very unusual for our designer paper sales. But because this time they're 15% off, they were able to include that. Excuse me. I don't know why my voice is so squeaky today. So anyways, I wanted to just point out that for this one, this is a little background from there. And I just put it in as an accent behind an opening. So this has nothing to do with the rule of thirds, but that uses the In Good Taste. And so I'm showing you some In Good Taste things here. This one is, I shouldn't have shown you this one first, but oddly, this is still fits in with the rule of thirds. So I use 2 designer series paper here. And this piece is just the front of my cardstock, but when you look at this, your eye sees 3 pieces. And let me do something here really quick. I feel like my lighting is not at the right angle. I know sometimes I'm just not seeing my screen well, but there, hopefully that helps a little bit. Maybe it didn't at all. But anyways, so this could easily fit in with the rule of thirds, and this is just 2 little strips of 1 1/4 inch paper, and then I actually backgrounded that with some Night of Navy. Okay, so those are 2 with that taste, In Good Taste. Now another set that's on sale is this Tidings of Christmas, which is 6 by 6, and there are just the most gorgeous designs in here. I've included this in my Christmas in July, and I do have a link to that if you haven't signed up for that. I do have a couple spaces left, and I am still taking some registrations for that, and you're going to get a sneak peek here. So if you didn't sign up, this might help you. So this is one of my Stamp-A-Stack cards, and this one is not a rule of thirds. This one is a half. So this is just a card front folded back on itself or scored at 2 1/8, and then a piece of designer paper here. So just another simple way to use that. Let me see. I think I do have a couple more in here from the Christmas in July, but I also wanted to show how you can stamp on your designer paper. So here's one of the painted, it's like a texture, like a paint texture, or what do I say? What am I, excuse me, like a spackling. And then it has a little bit of color in it. Actually, I think I sponged this color on, and then I stamped some design in it as well. I did want to point out with this one that this really is a rule of thirds. So this is, I think I have another set of papers to show you that there's a half of a sheet here and a half a sheet here. I want to say 2 1/2, I think, 2 1/2 and 2 1/2 inches, and they would meet here. But when you do that, it never looks good to me to just let those papers meet. So here I've added a piece of plain cardstock behind, just as a little strip, and some ribbon here just to accent that. So again, a rule of thirds with a few little accent pieces on there. Here's another one just showing you some of the background paper that's stamped on. So here it's used as a tag and actually stamped on. So you have a bit of a wood, almost like a laminate flooring wood design there. All right, so back to thirds, a few more ideas with that. This is one of the cards for the Christmas in July class with the little tote. Let me just show you the little tote. So this is a cute little tote that holds the cards. And I'm not going to show you all the cards, but I will show you this one. This was copied from online. Mary Kanab had done a card like this, and I saw a bunch of other ones too, where it's using a piece of designer paper in the background and then 3 different pieces. They are cut just in case you like that and want to make it. It's 1 1/4 by 3 1/4, these pieces right here. And then I also use this for the the designer paper for the saying layout. All right, so that goes there. All right, so another rule of thirds, guys. Check this out. I just did these, finished these up today. This is for the Stamp-A-Stack. And here I have 3 totally different sizes for my thirds. So I have a piece here of this designer paper. And I have this piece cut with our stitched rectangles. And I made a matching length up here with this soft succulent paper. I embossed it with some of the trees, and then I punched out some of the tree border here. But these 3 pieces bring that rule of thirds together, and I think it works. I think it's a cute look. If I can say that of my own card. Here's another one. I copied this from my friend Jennifer Cotton, who had some great ideas with this stamp set. And this is not a rule of thirds. Well, it is. It is. I wanted to point out that, you know, it looks like 2 pieces, but look at the ribbon here. The ribbon has added that 3rd piece to this card. And if I hadn't used that ribbon, I'm telling you, this card, I should have shown you some that didn't have something with that, but it would not have been as effective if I hadn't put that ribbon in there, or something, maybe a darker piece of cardstock, something to pull those 2 pieces together. And then another one from the Stamp-A-Stack. Here we're doing the same thing. Again, we have the ribbon as our 3rd piece, a tiny piece of designer paper, a large piece with our images in, and then this sort of becomes our focal point, although I think the gold trees sort of steal the show there. I just love those. This is from our gold and rose gold paper that's in the annual catalog. All right. Couple more things with the rule of thirds. I just wanted to show these, even though I have the link to the video I did with the designer paper. So I did the 3 pieces here, and you guys like that ruffling. And then here you've got your 3 pieces of designer paper as well. So another way to use rule of thirds. And then Stampin' Up! Did an event with us. We did a class, and I'm not going to really talk too much about that, but I'm going to show you some of the things that we did. I chose in Symmetry because it has a lot of fun colors in it, and that's what the host was using, so I pulled that out. And here we cut our pieces, a whole bunch, 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, and I put 2 pieces together, and then we had a 3/4 by 3 1/2 inch piece that we used as the belly band for our 3rd piece to pull that together. And so just a couple more of those with some of the other paper. And then we did some with 3 pieces. And in this, we actually hand cut, we folded these in half and hand cut hearts, and then we cut a piece out of the center and flipped that over. And what I think is cool as I looked at these was, here we go with the thirds again. We've got 3 designer papers on here, and that really helps to make this card. Now, You can't always flip a paper over and have it look nice, so I did have to finagle a little bit because not always do they create the papers with a nice matching pattern on the opposite side, but sometimes you get lucky. So here's another one done like that. Okay, and then we did one with the smaller pieces, and these are 1 3/4 by 2.5, and we have 3 different pieces on each card. I'll just show you 2 of those. Okay, so really quick and easy cards with a little grading on them. I want to add a little bit of bling on here yet, so didn't get to that. Let's see. Okay, so let me just recap here before I go on. So this is the paper, the Sweet Symmetry that I used on those last cards that you just saw. And I don't know if you noticed how gorgeous the colors were and how very unvibrant they look in here. So sadly, this is not a good picture of these papers. I will tell you, there's so much more gorgeous in person and than what you see there. I told you about that one. And then we mentioned the peach one, just in passing because I showed you that in the last video. And the next ones that I want to show you, I want to show you some with the Beauty of the Earth. Let me just pull this over here. This is a really beautiful set, and I'm using the coordinating stamp set in my class this month. So we're using this cute tree, and I don't have that card here, but I do have the video linked in here in the comments if you want to check that out. But I just did this one. This is just a little piece of the background paper. It's really subtle. It just makes a great background. And I pulled in some of the colors here for the background pieces, Cherry Cobbler and Misty Moonlight. So just a simple. And I just wanted to mention this fold. I had mentioned this before in a video. This piece is 4 inches by 12 inches long, and then it's just scored at 1 inch and folded back. And again, you want something that's going to coordinate in order to do that. And it makes a little bit of a flimsy card, so I put a full piece of white cardstock in here, and I tried to use a very large, excuse me, accent piece up here so that it would give it some body. It still feels a little flimsier than I typically have, but I think that it makes a cute idea. So I also did that, I think, with the peach set that I had shown. All right, what else do I want to show you? Okay, here's another rule of thirds. So this one we did at my team event. Well, we didn't actually use this paper. This was one I had originally done, but it's using this Beauty of the Earth designer paper, or DSP as we call it. And we put 3 pieces together, 3 rectangle pieces. I think they were 3 3/4 by 5. And you put that 3 pieces together, and you just randomly make 3 diagonal cuts. And the cutter should go through all the layers. And then you piece them into 3 separate cards, and you just mix and match them. So hopefully you can see there. This wasn't my favorite design because I felt like these were a little too close together in color, and it needed a little something more there. But just to give you that idea of what you can do. And it was very, very simple to do. And then, oh, this is that in symmetry paper that I just showed you, or Sweet Symmetry. This is the card. And these 2, this is the one that we're doing in class this month. And I just wanted to mention this fold because I think it's very stunning. And it gives you, so I used 2 designer papers here. This is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2 because this is scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So a 1/4 inch less is 2 1/2 by 4. Okay, so both pieces are the same there. On this one, you even have a little piece of designer paper behind here. I did not do that on the class card, but anyways, a really cute way to really highlight your designer paper. And let's see, what else did I show you? Everything there. Okay. All right, so let me just, I'm going to be showing you this hand penned in one of the cards, and I'm going to show you this petal, pansy petals in one of the cards, because those are all, hopefully I've gotten most of the ones that are on sale this month. Okay, so let me just make some space here. This card was, we used this for one of our downline events, and Barb Rocker actually designed this card. So I wanted to show you that. I don't think I showed it to everybody else. So some of you were on that call, so you already saw this. I'm pulling in just a little bit different color. I'm using the same designer paper, but I decided she used Highland Heather, and I'm going to actually use fresh freesia because I like how the fresh freesia is in here. And this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. It's cut the long way. It looks like I got something on there. Okay, now we're going to cut 1 inch off the end. I did score it already, but we will actually want to cut that off, and I'm just going to score that. I can't even remember how long we scored that, but I think I want to score it at 1 inch. We don't need that whole piece. Okay, so all right, did I forget to do that? Yeah, I forgot to cut a white piece of cardstock. Oh well, I will show you with this piece, but I'm not actually going to glue it in because one of you is going to win these cards and I want them to be nice. So what you're going to do is glue this piece in here, and it's going to just fold in like that. And then on top of that, oh, I got to do one more cut yet. I want to cut 1 inch. Let me just see if I make sure this is right here. I need that at 4. So I'm going to cut this at 4 inches, and that's going to leave me 1 1/4 inches. That's what I thought that was. Okay. So I'm going to just flip this piece over, and that's going to go right here. Okay, so this is going to go here. I think that it's a little short for some reason. You know what? I think I might have done wrong. I think I was supposed to cut off 1 1/4 inches. Let me do that real quick, just because I haven't glued anything together. Sorry, Barbara, I'm butchering your card if you're watching this. All right, now that should make our designer paper fit better. There we go. Okay, so this goes in here. All right, so I need your help, so get ready to type. I need you to tell me, I couldn't decide what color I wanted to use for my my scallop. So here is pale papaya. And then, of course, there will be a white circle on top of that, except I don't know where that got to. Great. All right, Cindy. You know, I carry piles of stuff in here to do these videos, and then I probably dropped some of it on the way. So pale papaya or so saffron. So both of those colors are shown in this designer paper, but which one do you think? I don't know if you can even see a difference online, but let me bring this down here a little bit. I got up there a little bit high. So saffron or pale papaya. So can you guys vote real quick? While you do that, I'm going to go see if I can find my circle. Yep, they fall off the pile. Okay, so let's see. So saffron, pale papaya, pale. Okay, we have 3-2. All right, is that everybody that wants to vote? All right, so 3 say pale papaya. So I'm going to go with that because, you know, if I ask for your vote, then we have to go with the highest. And I just decided I wanted to stamp something different than she had on hers. So I'm going to stamp something for baby or all for baby. Let me just grab a block here. And I think I'm going to just use one of the outfits. Which outfit do I want? This is pretty feminine, so maybe I'll do the little girl outfit. It's a little cute little onesie. And I'm going to stamp that in Pale Papaya. And I should have scrap paper to stamp on first to make sure that it's going to work because it's a new stamp. And good that I did, because that reminded me that I really need to have this here. I am used to stamping on a glass table when I design stuff. And I don't need this because it's a very, very smooth surface. So, yeah. But in here, not so much. This ink pad is really wet, so I'm not sure this is going to look great. Do you guys want me to show you what I do with my ink pads when they're too wet? Oh, that's my good piece. Okay. I don't have any scrap paper in here. Don't know why. Anybody else have that problem? Like, where's the scrap paper when you need it, right? What I do is I just take my pad. Now, one of the things you can do is move the ink so that it's away from where you're stamping. So that now the color is at the edge instead. Of course, that needs wiped off. Or you can just take it and waste a little bit on your scrap paper. And when it comes out that wet and bubbly, you know that it's just a little bit overfilled. So I'm instead of wasting it, I'm going to just go ahead and scoot it to the side so that I can ink my stamp up well. I'm going to just ink that right in the center there. And stamp. Okay. It's giving me a little darker outline, and I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to look, guys. I should have practiced that one first. Let's try one more side. Actually, I have another circle that is the wrong size, so I'm just going to try it on here once and see if I feel like it's not stamping in the center correctly. Okay, I hate that. Let me try the little boy stamp. And this brings me to a point that I wanted to tell you guys anyways. If you ever have a stamp, because I was going to tell you with the next stamp, if you ever have a stamp that does not stamp properly, I'm talking about photopolymers especially, it occasionally can happen that where there's supposed to be no image, the light has not reacted properly and leaves you with too much of a raised surface. And I'm telling you this because I recently had to have Stampin' Up! Replace 2 stamp sets for me. And so I just want you to know that the same goes for you. If you have something that you feel is not working properly, please let me know, or let Stampin' Up! Know if you're a demonstrator. Yeah, Karen, it does look like that on the case, but the case doesn't make it doesn't have this dark stuff here around the edge. I don't know if you can see what I mean. Like the sleeves are, but it's coming down around here as well, which doesn't make sense. And I don't really see that on the stamp, so it may just be that my ink pad is still a little bit too wet. But this one looks pretty good, so I like that. You can see how it gives you the shading and everything. Okay, so on top of that, I'm going to use basic black because I want something that's a little bit darker, and it might be just a little bit too dark, but I want to stamp the Hello Little One. I didn't get the saying stamped on. This is not the one I wanted. Okay. Grabbing the wrong thing. Okay. So I'm going to put Hello Little One on here. And of course, I haven't used the stamp, so you should always stamp with it a couple times. It seems like there's a little bit of a film on these when you use them for the first time. Now I should get rid of this mess here so that, because it looks terrible. Now we have that. So let me close this. And I'm just going to layer these. So I stamped that in fresh freesia. And like I said, I'm not going to put the inside together, but I will go ahead and put this together. You know what might be cute? I didn't think about doing this backwards, but that would be cute too if you flip those the opposite way. I already have adhesive on here, so. Oops. Don't glue that down, Cindy. Silly girl. All right. I think my husband was mowing outside just as I was about ready to start, and I think he ran out of daylight. So fortunately, I was afraid it would be too loud, but he stopped just before I got going. And then this piece, I can go ahead and glue that on because that actually, well, no, I didn't want to do that because I was going to use this white piece for the other card, but that's okay. I'll cut the other one. Let's put this together properly and get these edges lined up. Oh my goodness, I'm having a terrible time with that. My fingers tonight. All right, there we go. All right, and then this will tuck under here. And I will remove the adhesive that I have here by accident. Wants to tear my paper. This is, I use Seal Plus, so it's a really serious adhesive. So anyways, there's how it will look. I will add a little bling to that. And I think that, I like your choice. Unfortunately, with all the busyness here, you don't see it, but over here you see the color. And I did want to add a little bit of ribbon because it's a cute baby card. And even though this is probably the more masculine outfit, I think it can be for a little girl too. I do think these colors lend themselves to being girly. Sorry, boys, I don't think that you're going to like this. They don't care. As babies, they don't care, right? But the parents might care. So, all right. I can't even hold scissors tonight. All right. So, we're going to see this just as it should go together and not as a complete project. But anyways, I think that turned out cute. So then this will get glued on here. In fact, I can go ahead and put that on. Make sure it's straight here. And that's just going to glue right on here. And then that flips up and then this flips up. Okay, so we got that card figured out. All right, let me go to the other one that I have to show you. And I'm just going to scoot some of these colors out of here. All right, so this one was one that I did with, actually, I got this in a swap from a gal from Wisconsin. And I love this fold. And this is a thirds, as you can see here, another thirds, just as this last one was not a third. So let me just mention that. Except when you pull in this little piece here, ended up giving it, when you have a large piece like this as your focal point, it ends up bringing that third dimension onto your card. I'm not saying it always has to be thirds, but I'm telling you, everything I looked at or have done, really that third dimension really makes a difference. So this one, I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4 and at 7.5. So an inch in from the edge. Messed up there a little bit. And I always fold away from my score if I can. So of course this one, unless I had flipped it over, I wouldn't be able to do that because I have two scores and they're going two opposite directions. Okay, so it's going to go like that. And then I have my piece of designer paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I just realized that this doesn't have the blue in it. So I may have to stamp on this because I want to use this opposite piece to coordinate. And so I'm going to add some color to my paper to make it match. Do this pretty often, and especially with this paper because there's so many different combinations in it that you may not, you may run out of a certain design that you want. So I'm going to take this tiny little flower, which I'm going to make messy with blue. Let me just make sure that that's the best choice. Oh, I did bring this. So the stamp set. Actually, I might use this other flower that I'm not using on the card. It is a little set of flowers. And some of you who do my classes have used this set previously because I just love it. And it's also the set that I'm using this month for my stamps in the mail. And that is coming out in an email tomorrow. I think that's coming out tomorrow. We're doing pastels with this set. You probably saw my pastel video. And so I'm using the hand penned stamp set along with the pastels. So I'm going to stamp that off just because I don't want it to be too dark. I'm not worried too much over here because I'm going to be cutting that off anyways and turning it over. There, I think that's enough blue to bring in the blue that we're using since I didn't notice that before. And I'm just cleaning this as we go because I'm going to need some of these things again. Okay, so now I want to take this and I want to cut. I'm going to cut 1 inch off of this. The other one was 1 1/4 inches. This one is 1 inch. Actually, that's, yeah. And this should have been scored at 1 1/4 inches though. So let me just rescore that. So I lied to you. I said 7.5. It should have been 7 1/4. And we'll just bring that back a little bit more. It's nice if you can keep things in inches because it certainly makes it a little easier to cut your paper. All right, so let me just put this in place. Whoops, I almost did that wrong. So this is just going to go. I can move it down just a tad. Okay, and this is Misty Moonlight cardstock. Just burnish this edge here since I got that extra score mark in there. All right, I'll go ahead and burnish this one too. All right, so this one now is going to go on the front. And you just decide which direction you like best. And I'm going to line it up here because I think it's going to go the whole way into my fold. But I want to make sure that the edges are lined up correctly and it's actually going a little bit over my fold. So I'm going to just fold that in there. That'll give it a little extra oomph. So I could have cut that down just a hair. All right, so now this is where my white piece will go if I had it. And I'm going to just flip this over so that you can see. So there's my 3rd dimension. And of course you could stamp a little something on that if you want to. And then I did my pieces, which I don't see. Lovely, Cindy. Oh, they're there. To go in here. And this is Pale Papaya, again, to coordinate with the Pale Papaya in here. And for the stamping part, I'm taking the hand pen stamp, the biggest image. Actually, it's not the biggest image. It's the next biggest. And I'm going to ink that in black, Memento. Only because I wouldn't use Memento with just regular inks, except that black is the only pad that will work with photopolymer. StazOn does not play well with it. And I want to save room down here for my sayings. I'm going to put that up there a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with this large stamp. And this is the one that I just asked Stampin' Up! To replace for me. So you will see that it's not stamping correctly. Let me just show you what I mean. Whoops, that's not even inked completely. Actually, this time it's stamped fine. Is this the one? But yeah, I see where it's at. You get little dots in between here and smudges because the ink fills the spot. And you can sort of tell if your stamp, if you can run your fingernail across and you can barely see the gap between the designs. These new designs are brilliant, where you see these little dots there. That's actually what it's supposed to look like. It just gives you a little extra dimension for the card or for the design. I want to stamp this off, so I need to ink it good. And that's when my problem comes in, when I ink that really good. But it's okay. For this, it's not going to show too much on here. Just when I want to use it by itself, it creates a problem for me. But I wanted that to be a little lighter to coordinate with the design that we have on the designer paper. And then I'm going to use, in this smaller one, I did wipe that off. I'm going to do this in full strength. We're just going to stamp some color in here. I love two-step stamping, and it saves a lot of time to coloring these in. And then we'll use the, this is the largest leaf, I believe. Yeah. And it doesn't quite fill most of this, but it's going to add a little bit of color. And I think I did that wrong. No, I didn't. Sometimes it's hard to know which end of the leaf is the correct end. And let me just take my Post-it note. Whoops. I think I just dropped a stamp. And I just want to cover where the blue is because this leaf goes up behind that, so I don't want that to get in there. All right, so there's my design. Let me get rid of this mess. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me go ahead and stamp this thing, and I think I'm going to do that in. Sorry, let me just grab this baby outfit before I lose it. Okay, I'm going to do the things. I think that'll fit. And I'm going to just do that in, great, this is the one I used to spread my ink. It's good I have a cleaning pad here tonight, huh? I'm just going to ink that full strength in the blue, which I keep all of my labels because, you know, sometimes in the Misty Moonlight, I'll put the other languages on the other end just so that if it's sitting the wrong way, I can see what color it is. But then I look at it and I don't know the words. Okay, so got my things on there. Let me go ahead and layer this. Now she did 2 of the scallops from So Sentimental, but I wanted more room for this because this is a larger image. Plus, I sometimes don't like 2 scallops together, so I just cut down inside of where the stitches were so that I had a larger piece there. And then this is just going to get layered on the front here. Whoops, my white paper moved. Like so. Let's go ahead and. One thing I know with the Seal Plus, I know that's going to hold, so that's really relieving to me. And add a little bit of bling to that, and voila. All right, so hopefully that was a helpful little fast tour through designer paper tonight to give you some ideas of things that you can do. And just as a little vote to let me know how many of you have tons of designer paper that you wish that you would get to a little more often, and maybe don't use as much as you wish you could. And I know part of that it is, you know, we see papers that we love at the craft store and you have to buy them, right? And then they don't coordinate with anything. Well, I just gave you a little tip to help them coordinate with a color that you have. Maybe you can come in and stamp a design that's a color that we have that will pull your things together a little bit better. So try that, see if that works for you. And anyways, thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Take care.